That is some very pretty drone footage there of the ship we're here to find out about. Welcome to everybody. We have here 100 of the world's finest travel agents and journalists. And behind us we have 200 crew members from Quantum of the Seas. And viewing us online right now, we have tens of millions of viewers here to watch us unveil this ship. My name is David Pogue. I'm a longtime technology and science journalist. I was at the New York Times for 13 years. I do CBS Sunday Morning and PBS Nova, and I opened my own site in January at yahootech.com. And I'm stalling a little bit because I'm supposed to have a co-host here, Richard Fain, the CEO and chairman, not just of Royal Caribbean, the cruise line, but all 6 of the related cruise lines, celebrity, and he's the top banana, and he's late. Is there not some way we can track him down?
Sorry, David, this is just too much fun. I'll be there in just a second.
Richard Fain, drone fanatic. And here he is now, ladies and gentlemen. It's nice of you to show up at your own event, sir.
Sorry, but we're going to have fun sometime.
Look, he's still carrying the drone's remote control as though that wasn't a prepared taped piece. It's very impressive.
Is there an off switch here for you?
Well, welcome. I actually have had the chance to tour Quantum of the Seas, and you guys all will tomorrow. But for the sake of the people watching online who will not have that chance, we have prepared a visual tour of what we're here to talk about. Can we roll that video? Richard, you've launched a number of ships, right? How many are in the fleet now?
Well, this will be number 43.
Ship number 43, and it's my understanding that you have never before had a launch like this with journalists and crew and an internationally famous technology reporter.
We've never had such a good reason to do it, so we're excited today to be talking about the new technology on this wonderful new ship.
So you are asserting that there is something different about this particular ship?
Well, there's a lot of things different about this ship, and we've revealed some of them, from the architecture and the entertainment and the culinary. But today we get to talk about what makes this a smart ship.
Okay, now before we get to that, I noticed that this is not like a Broadway stage. This is not Madison Square Garden.
You really are observant. Obviously, we have the right person.
I can't work with this guy. But it's very industrial and grungy. There's clearly some thinking behind this.
Well, we're here at the Meyer-Werft Shipyard, and in their incredibly large building hall. I mean, you can see behind us, that is the second in the series, the Anthem of the Seas, and it looks like it's far away because this building dock is more than the length of 5 football fields. And actually where we're standing is on top of one of the other sections of Anthem, so we're actually already quite high in the dock.
So this platform that we're on is actually a hunk of cruise ship?
It is a hunk of cruise ship.
Did you guys have any idea you were going to get a free ride on a cruise ship today? That's very cool. So it looks like somebody's taken a giant chainsaw and cut that thing down the middle.
Well, they build this ship like putting together Legos, and so what we're looking at is a half-finished ship. The fully outfitted Quantum of the Seas is actually finished being built in the dock and was floated out 2 weeks ago.
Wow. Okay. So this one's identical. This ship.
Almost identical, except for the decor. It'll be a sister ship.
And so this, for those of you watching online, we are in fact in Germany, And this has been a shipyard for a long time. It was founded in
95.
1795. And weirdly, it is not on the coast, right? It's like 10 or 20 miles away from the ocean.
Exactly, up the River Ems, and this will be the largest ship ever built in this dock, and the largest ship ever to go down the river. It's quite a feat.
So, well, that's a good entree. How big is Quantum of the Seas?
Well, Quantum of the Seas will be actually the third largest cruise ship in the world. She'll be carrying over 4,100 very happy guests, and we're looking, yeah.
So wait a minute. The third largest? Would it be gauche for me to ask which cruise line has the number 1 and 2 largest?
Well, I'd have to think for a little bit on that one, but us. With Oasis and Allure of the Seas are the 2 largest cruise ships in the world, and this one comes along as number 3.
They're yours too. Okay, so how? So it's weird. It's wider at the bottom, and then the cabins section is narrower.
Well, that by making the ship narrower but taller in the superstructure, we have more outside staterooms, and that's a real advantage for the people. And in fact, 90% of the cabins have outside staterooms, and 80% of the cabins have balconies.
Wait, 90? So only 10% of the cabins are interior cabins?
That's right.
How is that possible? If there's a corridor, and then there's the outside ones. Don't you have an equal number of interior ones?
Well, I think that was part of the secret of designing the ship, is to make sure that we had fewer outside staterooms, and that the inside staterooms that we did have, we made quite special.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a second. And how tall is it, this ship?
The ship is about 68 meters tall, and that gets it under most of the bridges in the world, although to get through some of them, we have to lower the smokestack.
You lower the smokestack?
The Verrazano Narrows Bridge and the Golden Gate Bridge, for example, are 71 meters, and when the smokestack is fully extended, the ship is about 73 meters.
Wow.
So we have to lower the stack to get under.
There's a lever somewhere that somebody pulls, and
Yes, would you like to pull that next time you're on board?
I would. That means you'll have to give me a free cruise. Okay, so I understand there are 6 categories of technology stuff that makes this a unique ship. Why don't we start with those? So, for example, smart check-in. What is that about?
Well, we wanted all of the technology to make this ship easier for the guests and to make it more hassle-free. And the first thing that's a hassle when you come to a cruise ship, as you well know, is the check-in process. So we decided our first inclination was to make it easier, and then our inclination was let's eliminate it altogether. So there's literally no check-in when you get to the pier. Everything can be done at home beforehand, including if you take a selfie, we'll load that up as your security photo. And all you have to do is come, print out a boarding pass, show that, your picture comes up, and you're on board. The idea is to get you from sidewalk to shipboard in less than 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
That'll be a record.
I was chosen for this hosting job, obviously, because of my boyish good looks and my reputation as a cutting-edge journalist, but what you may not know is that I am also a hardcore cruiser. I've done 20 cruises or so, and I can tell you that the worst part of it is day one, standing in lines, getting your picture taken, like at the Department of Motor Vehicles. The kids are screaming, we just want to get on with the cruise. So,
well, maybe your kids scream, and I can understand that, but we do have...
Oh my God, did you just say that?
But our idea is to make this simple. Our idea is just eliminate all that hassle and basically give everybody their first day, not to deal with all the things that have to be dealt with, but to just get on board and start enjoying. And one of the things we've done is also in the same context as part of Smart Check-In is we have said one of the things people worry about is their luggage. Where's my luggage?
Right, a guy takes it from you at the dock, and then it's some X number of hours later, it appears in your stateroom.
And everybody worries, will it get there? It always does, but I think we're all a bit insecure about that. So what we've done is now when you give that bag to the porter, he or she will put on it an RFID tag, and you can track your luggage as it goes through 7 different steps until it gets to your stateroom. And you can do that on our app. On your iPhone, you can just say, oh, where's my bag? And it's right there.
So these 7 stations, you look at it and it would say
It's gone through security. It's now on board the ship. It's in the aft stairwell. It tells you where your bags are, and that gives you the comfort so you can continue to party. And when your bag's in your stateroom, then you'll know.
That is very cool. However, both of these things, the radio frequency ID tags on the luggage, as well as the check-in, don't those both presume a certain amount of technical ability? Like my parents could not upload their own photo, for the check-in process.
Well, if the process is designed to be so simple that anybody can do it. But if you're having a problem, we do have people at the pier who will take care of it and who will help you do it.
Okay, so the old
you have the
systems are
option.
still
The
there.
old system is there,
Okay.
but I think you're going to find that this is so simple and so easy, nobody would want to do that.
Okay. So then we have smart concierge. What is that?
Well, smart
I would hope that all your concierges are smart. I mean,
Well, this is to help the concierges. Smart concierge is dealing with all the things that make it easy to operate your cruise. So it's how you plan your cruise, arranging all the activities you want to do. You want to know when your spa appointment is, and giving you something on board that allows you to change. You can change your dinner reservation. You can see at a glance.
this is an app. It's not a human being. Okay.
This is an app.
Okay.
This is purely an app,
Okay.
but a very simple one.
Uh-huh.
And so you can see what your reservations are. You can see what your schedule is, what dining you have. You can change it. So you can organize your time easily and conveniently.
So if
There's so much to do on board. We want you really to organize yourself so you can get as much done as possible.
is this done wirelessly? In other words, is my app updated as things change?
As things change, everything is wireless. It's just there as you call it up.
So, I don't want to upset you or anything, but
It's too late.
as a victim of 20 cruises,
I've heard you before, David. It's too late.
I can tell you as an experienced cruiser that wireless and cruise ships, not good, not a good mix. I have spent so much money getting such horrible bandwidth on cruises. It's notorious.
Well, we have the problem. It's unfortunately more difficult to attach a wire to the ship on the middle of the high seas than it is in your house.
Yeah, that usually doesn't work.
So it's been a real problem, and we've tried very hard to get the maximum bandwidth, but it just hasn't been there until now. And we've teamed up with O3B, and they've launched these satellites which are targeted to our ships, and they will give us literally hundreds of times the bandwidth and at a sixth of the speed, or 6 times the speed, that you've ever had on any ship. In fact, the bandwidth on this one vessel will be more capability than every other cruise ship in the world combined. It's that dramatic an improvement.
Well, okay, so first of all, it's a low bar to begin with, but that is very welcome. So what will it feel like? I mean, like I know that my cable modem at home is like 7 megabits per second. What will this be?
This will feel just like a normal DSL connection at home. You will be able to stream video, you will be able to Skype, you'll be able to FaceTime, you'll be able to do...
Dude, you just told these people they can do video from a cruise ship.
Well, that was just between you and me. I was sort of hoping they wouldn't be listening.
Yeah, nobody spread that around.
But yes, they will. Everybody will be able to do streaming video, to do the capacity of this dedicated beam is so powerful that we can do all those kinds of things. And at the speed that you're used to at home. And at 6 times the speed in terms of going back and forth to the satellite.
If that works, dude, that will change everything for me. I think we have a video that explains exactly what this beam business is about.
5, 4, 3, 2, unité, podium. Décollage, piste, c'est parti.
What O3B promises to achieve with us is that the full use of the bandwidth, video streaming, sharing things on Facebook and similar technologies will become available.
That's a real revolution as far as the cruise industry is concerned. They'll be able to bring their own devices, they'll be able to have access to very rich content, they'll be able to stream and do all of the things that you expect to be able to do everywhere else in your life here on board ship.
I think that Royal Caribbean is distinguished in the industry as being the most innovative brand by far. And O3B is innovation and is trying to connect all the other 3 billion people to the internet. And what we want to do is we want to be part of that.
The O3B connectivity is not a broad signal that is sent out like a geostationary orbit satellite, a normal satellite. It is a beam. And that beam is focused on a particular area, a very specific diameter. And as the ship moves through the water, they actually point the beam at the ship as the satellite is going overhead. This is revolutionary. It is hundreds of times more capacity and 8 or 9 times reduced in latency. Latency is how long it takes for a signal to go from the ship to the satellite, back down to the ground station, and then does that trip again to get back to the ship.
They will have essentially the same connectivity that they would have today in their house, in a hotel, or anywhere they would travel inland. For me, it's like we have the ability to connect a fiber optic cable to the back of the ship and take it with us around the Caribbean.
So, okay, so is there, first of all, is there any, you get any pushback from veteran cruisers saying, wait a minute, we go on a cruise to be on vacation. We don't want to I don't want my husband sitting there doing email?
Well, first of all, everybody does it anyhow. People need their connectivity today. And you just spend a lot of time because it's so slow, and it is painful. We all understand that. So we're doing what we can to improve that. But yeah, I think people want it. The millennials certainly want it. I think everybody wants it. You don't have to work. But if you do work, you can at least do it efficiently.
Right. Is there, so what is Royal IQ? This is another app that...
Well, the Royal IQ is one of these great apps. It's part of this connectivity. It's part of this concierge service. So it allows you to look at all the things you've got planned, allows you to make changes to your schedule. It also allows you to do texting and even calling into shore. And you can do that using this incredibly powerful connectivity.
Calling into shore?
Yes.
Dude, that's like $30 a minute. I've done that.
Well, that's a while ago, so we don't do that. And there is, of course, a cost, but it's not an exorbitant one because we have put so much into this connectivity that it'll actually be cheaper, will be faster, better, but we are going to be charging less for it than we have historically.
Wow, so you're still paying for internet.
You still pay for internet.
But you're saying it's less than usual.
But it's less than...
And much faster.
You've been paying for the internet, now you'll pay less and get much better service.
And speaking of generous giveaways, some of the things in Quantum have been revealed before, but I understand that you have an announcement to make today that hasn't been revealed that might be of particular interest to the 200 crew members standing along that rail.
Well, one of the things that we said
Excuse me. Hey, dude, we're working here. Thank you. Sorry.
Good luck with that. So one of the things that we do want the ship on time. So one of the things is this technology and the power gives us the ability to do so much of what you're talking about comes from the fact that we have this incredible connectivity with shore. But we wanted the connectivity not only to help our guests and the kinds of services and functionality that we can give our guests, the most important aspect of the ship, and you know I'm proud of the ship, you know I think the ship is spectacular and the features on board are wonderful, the architecture is exceptional, but the single best feature on the ship, as it's been with Royal Caribbean ship for 40 years, are the crew, the men and women who provide such great service. I would give them a hand. We are simply in awe of what they do every day. And so one of the things that the connectivity does is give us a chance to make life a little better for them. And so we wanted to give them the connectivity so they can call home, FaceTime home, Skype home, etc. And then we said, well, if they're going to do that, how do they do that? And the best way to do that, of course, today is on a tablet. And so we then decided that we would give every crew member on board Quantum a gift of a tablet, a Windows tablet. And so that I see they're applauding back there.
They're grinning.
So
free tablets!
So every crew member as they board will be given a tablet. It's theirs to keep. But then we said, you know, it's not only the crew on Quantum that is so exceptional. And so we've decided to give a tablet to every crew member on every ship in the Royal Caribbean International Fleet. And that amounts to 40,000 tablets, which we have just bought.
Mr. Oprah, everybody gets to sleep. Everybody. That is very nice of you.
And well, I just think, you know, it's a small way to say thank you. And frankly, it should make life a little easier for them. And our attitude is a happier crew means happier guests. So this I think should help us for the long term.
Because that's right. So as you crew members well know, a crew member on a cruise ship is away from home for months at a time. So usually they can text and email to keep in touch with their family, but like video, like voice Skype calls, forget it. They run and port to the nearest internet cafe.
But now that we have this O3B connectivity, now they can do it from the ship, and we want to take advantage of it. So that's one more thing that comes out of this incredible technological shift in how we get bandwidth to the vessel.
That is wicked cool. All right, so let's move on to the ship itself. I had the luxury of getting to visit the ship with you yesterday, and I saw a few things that were a little mind-blowing. So here is a quick video of some of the things you'll see actually on the ship once you're there.
Oh, look at those things. Oh, man.
Aren't they amazing?
They're choreographed.
And they don't have the TV sets on them yet, but
Right.
look at them.
It's cool even without the screens.
And imagine, I mean, I think a 100-inch TV set is not bad.
I know. And 6 of them.
270 is a unique environment. There's no theatre anywhere in the world like it. This is a room the likes of which no one's ever built anywhere, on land or on sea.
The reason the name is named 270 is because you have 270-degree panoramic views of the ocean.
The room would be gorgeous without any of the technology, and then when you layer all that in, I think it will be a wow. But I don't think everybody's realized that it's actually the content, the graphics and pictures and music and sound and everything that's on those pieces of technology that are really going to be incredibly impactful and powerful.
When we got approached to work in the 270 room and we saw all the technology that was in it, we thought, oh my God, what an amazing playground for us. I first got really excited about the robo screens, obviously, thinking of developing a content that would react to the movement of the robot.
In terms of the world of robotics, other than things that are going on Mars, this is the most complex robotics project on the planet right now.
The way the robots move, I always compare it to some kind of choreography, and I was really wanting to bring humans into the visual. And also, I think it's a chance for us with the robot screen to almost bring performance act without performers.
There are so many different things in there. There's a live actor part to the space, there's the robots, and then there's the Vistarama projection surface.
We have 18 8K projectors, which can basically convert this to almost anything or any place you want to be.
Are you telling me that these windows become video screens?
They do it
all the way around?
all the way around.
That is going to be a very special room, and it will be interesting to see how our guests respond to it as it transforms itself, not only throughout the day, but throughout the cruise as well.
So this is moving into the category of smart experiences of our 6 broad categories. So you are really trying to make a point here. That room, I mean, it's glass for miles, right?
Well, the room, I think, is spectacular without any technology in it whatsoever. It's an enormous space, and as you say, the glass seems to go forever. Not only horizontally, but it's 3 decks high. It's an amazing space.
But just from a ship construction viewpoint, how do you do that? Because there's no pillars blocking the view.
They've really pushed the pillars way out of the way, and so and part of the way they've done it, and Harry Coulavara, who builds all of our ships and who's overseen this project from the beginning, basically came up with a way of, instead of holding it up on a series of pillars, which would have gotten in the way of your view, lifts the roof up from above. So it's sort of hung down from the structure above rather than supported from below. Wow. It's a brilliant construction. Meyer-Werft did a great job in putting it all together. And as you've seen, it's just a wonderful room, even before we start talking about the technology.
Right. So, all right. So about the technology. So the windows in the video look like during certain times they all become screens. Like you don't see through them. you're projecting stuff on them. What is that?
Well, in fact, you take all those windows, and then there are screens that come down in front of them, and there are 18 8K projectors.
8K?
Yes, it's what is that? 8 times what you normally get in a high-definition TV.
Right.
So 18 of these which overlap and create an imagery which can be a library, it can be the New York skyline, it can be a person sliding into second base.
I saw a giant fish in one scene.
There you go. So it can be almost anything we want. That flexibility is amazing. And then you put the robo screens on top of that.
So, okay, so these robo screens, I don't know if you could tell, they not only move around like this, but they go like this, they go like this, and they also can angle, like, yeah, there they go. So there's what they look like. And those are just static demo paintings, right? It'll be live videos playing on all of these things.
That's right.
And what are the videos going to show?
Well, there's all different little vignettes that come up, and so if I actually can digress and comment on something that I think the room epitomizes what's special.
No, I'd rather you stick to the outline. No, just kidding.
I do tend to go off, but with the video tends to show the one feature. But what's special about the room is it sort of combines everything. And so what we've tried to do is use these 6 kinds of technology to complement an already wonderful ship. And in this room can be sort of a living room during the day with surprises. And then the screens come on. They can be an abstract event. They can be dancing in a box. They can be almost anything we want it to be. And I've seen the early versions of it, and they're spectacular.
So is the idea that these will be, dancing and playing anytime you go to the 270 room, or is it like, come at 8:30 for a special robo screen performance?
No, and one of the things is we've always learned from what our guests want. So the use of the room will evolve. But the idea is you can go most of the time and just relax. It's a beautiful living room with this spectacular panorama of the sea or whatever city you're in. But at certain times it becomes an amazing show as well. So it's just part of the ramping up of the entertainment that we did in the last reveal.
And speaking of screens, by the way, I have to say you have implemented an idea of mine that I've had for 10 years pertaining to those inside cabins, the one that have no windows. You have replaced what would have been the window with this huge floor-to-ceiling 1080p high-definition video screen of what you would have seen out the window. This is nuts.
It was your idea.
Yeah, I'll look for the commission.
Good luck on that too. It really did come out very well because the screens really feel like a virtual balcony.
Oh yeah, look at that! Look at that! That's exactly what it looks like, by the way.
And it, oftentimes when you look at these renditions, they're not really real, but you've seen it. It's amazingly lifelike.
Well, because it's a live camera feed, right? It's not a tape. It's an actual. You have cameras mounted around the ship just to feed these screens.
And from the same perspective as the cabin. So if you're on the starboard side and it's raining outside, you'll see the rain on the starboard side. If it's sunny, you'll see the sunny. If the seas are calm, you'll see calm seas. But from your perspective, and that really does ramp up the experience.
The part I was most surprised by is that, real life is 3-dimensional, right? There's depth. So I figured that when you'd walk in, you'd be like, oh, it's a TV. But for some reason, a 2-dimensional presentation within the frame of a window is very realistic. It looks just like the window would have.
I will admit, I was a little skeptical when we first came up with the idea, but the execution was done very well. They actually lengthened the room a little bit and then put in a false wall so that it isn't like a TV plastered on the wall. They put it behind curtains. So it really looks and feels like that's the balcony. I hope nobody tries to walk out, but
you
it
see somebody
feels like
trying to spit over the balcony. Ow,
Oh, please don't give them any ideas. Can we cut that from the final take?
Yeah, this will all be edited out. And can you turn it off if you're getting queasy or whatever?
Well, you don't get queasy on our ships, but you can, if you want to go to bed, turn it off, close the curtains. Yes, just like a balcony.
And can you turn on the game? Can you play a movie on those?
No. We did decide, you know, there was a temptation to do that, but this really is an exceptional virtual balcony. It feels like a balcony, and anything you do to change that, we considered having Shrek come across your balcony, but anything you do to fake it up, we thought just undermined the basic idea that it's to give you a feeling of like you have your own balcony. And so there's a separate TV if you want to watch the game, but this one sticks as a balcony.
And then the robo screens we talked about are not the only robots on board either.
No, they're not.
So what are these other ones?
Well, we have something we call the Bionic Bar, another experience. And there you go, and we have robots that actually prepare your drinks. And you tell them what you want, and they will mix it for you, and they will shake it, and they will add the mint if it's a mint julep, or whatever it is.
Oh my God!
There it is.
Robo bartenders. So you don't speak it, right? You select from a tablet or
you
something?
put it onto a tablet.
Mm-hmm. And how long before we surrender to our robot overlords and they take over the ship? That is really cool. And these work? I mean, you've tried
God,
these
I
out?
hope so. But it's been well, you know, our team has really worked hard to do all this stuff, and they're testing everything absolutely as much as you can in the factory. And this technology, all of these things are new and exciting, but we're learning and we're working hard to make sure we perfect them ahead of time.
I was going to say that as a veteran of technology reviewing, I can tell you that version 1.0 of anything doesn't work, right? Windows 8, you know? So you don't have the luxury of like sending everybody a software update. I mean, you have one shot and you've got like 12 brand new technologies, you know, the robo things and the virtual screens and the internet and all of this going on with no dress rehearsal.
Well, that is a challenge that we face, but we have faced it before, and we work awfully hard to make sure we get it right the first time. So we do spend more time preparing ourselves for these things. We spend more time testing them in simulations. You've been in one of the virtual balcony staterooms. It really works very well. Actually, although there are 6 kinds of technology, there's over 180 different new technologies. And we have a big team that works on putting it together. We have here at the shipyard, and you see them here, some 200 people who are working to make sure that we do get it right the first time.
Don't screw it up, guys.
But you do know, you are right. It's never perfect. You do learn. But we're pretty good at learning on the go. And the other thing we will learn is our guests guide us. We really determine these things based on what our guests say they want. And so as we learn, for example, the robo bartender, when we first turn it on, I think she's going to have a very narrow repertoire of drinks that she's capable of making. But as she learns, we'll add the different variations that she can do.
And will they one day be able to respond to people who say, you know, my wife doesn't understand me?
We could probably add that and probably be as reliable as your current bartender.
But on this topic of 1.0, so like the robo screens, right now they have wooden dummies on them instead of the 100-inch screens, right? And the videos that will play on them, they're not completely finished, right?
No.
You launch in 2 months, and you've never run it all together. You're not worried?
Scared to death. Yes, and by the way, because our teams are all scared to death, I think running scared is the best way to make sure you get it right. And we do lose sleep over this, but we work hard. You're right. If you take the robo screens, this has never been done at sea. It's never been done on land.
Oh.
And so we're inventing it, but we've been very fortunate. We work with some of the best robotic experts in the world, some of the best video experts in the world, some of the best entertainment experts in the world, and they're all as jazzed about this as we are. When that comes out, this is going to be jaw-droppingly exciting. This is a wow that I think everybody will be impressed with. And having seen all the work that's gone into it, I feel pretty good that they'll get it right the first time.
All right. Well, you heard it here first, folks. Things go wrong. So what else is there to do on the ship? You're out there at sea. You've got your trademark climbing wall.
You know, I think what makes all of our ships so exciting are we have so many things to do. And this ship is no exciting. We keep adding new things. So the North Star, I think people are going to fall in love with that.
Oh, this is cool. Yeah, so tell about this.
Well, that's the gondola at the end of this long arm, and so you can go out. There's actually, there it is on the screen, and it holds 15 people. You can go out.
And that's for people who've misbehaved. It's like the brig. You get them off the ship.
It's a good idea. I should have thought of that. But what it does do, it takes them off basically all otherworldly. It takes them up, but also out and over the ship, 300 feet over the water, and they can look down and see in port, by the way, or underway, see where everything is. It should be spectacular.
You pay a little extra for this, or?
No, actually, neither this nor the Ripcord by iFly. Both of these are free. We want to add to the experience. We want to make sure that the people are just wowed by the cornucopia of activities that they can do anything they want.
So what is the Ripcord?
Well, that is a skydiving simulator. It's on the back of the vessel, and you basically go in and you fly like you are skydiving. It's not so easy to do, but it is incredibly fun.
It's kind of like a giant fan under you, right?
It is indeed, and it's beautiful too. And I think the two things that are most fun are doing it, and watching other people making fools of themselves trying to do it. It's a little like the Flow Rider. More people enjoy watching others fall than enjoy doing it themselves.
Oh yeah, and speaking of the Flow Rider, do that slideshow again, can you? Because in the first shot, there's a picture of the Flow Rider. This is you've done before, right?
We've done the Flow Rider.
It's kind of like a water treadmill or something. Yeah, that thing.
It's basically a surfing machine that provides a flow of water so you can surf on it at sea, and everybody loves it. And so we keep adding it because it's so popular.
Holy. Okay, so but there is something new on this ship, not just the skydiving simulator. Something you and I had fun doing yesterday.
Oh yes, you weren't so good at it, but. With all due respect, and
there's no respect.
We'll cut that too when we do the final. But the bumper cars. So we have this Seaplex, which is this amazing space, and we can do anything with this space, including bumper cars. And
dude, you're putting bumper cars on a cruise ship. Have you lost your mind?
Well, you didn't seem to think so when you tried it yesterday.
You guys have video of that? Oh yeah, here we are. Oh yeah, baby. Yeah, go for family drive.
Go for it. Do it. It's very easy. No problem driving this.
Oh, sorry about this. Yes. Sorry about your $100,000 camera there. So my question for you
But also, I should mention that it's not only the bumper cars. Obviously, it's a full basketball court, but it's also, we'll do acrobatics training up there. We'll do
Is that roller skating?
Roller skating.
And who's the dude floating up? Who's that guy?
Well, it's a disco that with the DJ floats in his own little thing over the dance floor. You can do just about anything up there.
You know what you should do? You should do some of these things simultaneously. You should have bumper cars during the basketball.
A new sport.
That would be cool.
Very good.
That you get some headlines.
David, you're imaginative. You know, you should work for Royal Caribbean because we like new ideas.
Yeah, that's right. And plus, I get a complimentary safety vest.
Complimentary?
I'll see it on my bill, won't I? So my concern here is that everyone's going to want to do the North Star capsule. Everyone's going to want to do the skydiving simulator, and whenever you're doing bumper cars, everyone's going to want to do that. Aren't you going right back to having lines like crazy?
No, and in fact, you mentioned about 1.0 versus 2.0. So on this ship, we have Line Busters 2.0. And Line Busters 1.0 we did when we introduced Oasis and Allure of the Seas. And here we've taken that to a whole new level. Our objective is nobody should ever spend time waiting in line. And the way we accomplish that with these exciting things, because you're right, everybody wants to do all these things. But there are so many things that everybody wants to do that they don't have to queue up because it'll spread everybody. And we're pretty good at learning how to do that. and if necessary, we have systems that will help us accomplish that. So yeah, the idea is that if you want to do it, but I think there are actually so many things to do on board that your problem isn't going to be getting access to the event. The problem is you're going to be so busy you can't do it all. And what we really want is for everybody to come on board and say, my God, I was so busy. I had so much to do. I couldn't get it all done. We need to go back.
But suppose it does become a big hit. Has somebody crunched the spreadsheet and figured out that during a one-week cruise, everyone who wants to will get to try the North Star?
Absolutely. That was a key requirement of ours. It's going to be a problem during our first inaugurals when we have only a couple of days at sea.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody wants to do those things.
Right.
But during a normal week's voyage, everybody can do each of these activities, and we're not charging for them.
That's very cool. All right, so that's the smart experiences, and then what is the last one? Smart sustainability. What's that about?
Well, smart sustainability is very simple. The technology allows us not only to design everything for the guest satisfaction and design things to make it easier for the crew to provide this wow level of service, but also allows us to design ships that are more environmentally friendly. So, for example, the Oasis and Allure of the Seas had everything we could think of to make them more energy efficient. So they had the lowest carbon footprint of any ship on a per person basis anywhere in the world. And yet, when we started with the technology on this ship, they came up with ways to make it even more efficient. So this vessel is 20% more energy efficient than even the Oasis and the Allure of the Seas.
That's like thousands of gallons of fuel. I mean, that's like
we don't measure in gallons, we measure in tons, but yes.
What do I look like, a sailor? So specifically, how does one get a leap that big?
Well, it's not by one big thing. It's a whole lot of little things. It's the way you design the hull form. It's even the way you design the bulbous bow. But for example, this will be the first ship ever built with a full air lubrication system. And so what they do is the ship produces microscopic bubbles. The trick is that they're small, and it coats the bottom of the ship. So the ship, instead of the friction of the water against the hull, it's literally floating on air. And that reduces the friction.
And this works?
And God, I hope so. We got a lot right. We put a lot of investment into it. We've put a lot of effort into making it work, and we think it does. And we've tried it in test cases elsewhere, and it seems to be very efficient.
This is the first cruise ship to have it?
It's the first full cruise ship to have it. We have the test installations elsewhere.
And how much? What advantage does that give you? How much fuel does that save?
Well, that's part of the overall. That's probably saving something like 4% of the fuel consumption just from that.
Wow.
But most of the things are smaller. So, for example, this ship has 66,000 light bulbs, and we've decided early on that none of them, would be incandescent. Every bulb on this ship is either a LED or a fluorescent.
Wow. So, and explain why, you gave me some numbers before about what's wrong with incandescent bulbs.
Well, incandescent bulbs are just energy hogs. If you take a 100-watt light bulb, 90 watts of that is actually generating heat, and 10 watts is generating light. And the problem on a cruise ship is that if we generate 90 watts of heat, we need to generate 90 watts of air conditioning to remove that heat.
Oh.
So that bulb effectively costs us 190 watts. On the other hand, if you use an LED to do exactly the same thing, you need about a 12-watt bulb, and it generates about 1 watt of heat. So it needs about 13 watts to generate the exact amount of light as a 100-watt bulb, 190 watts out of a 100-watt light bulb. And so the energy consumption is less, and we do that with everything. We've done that with refrigeration, we've done that with air conditioning, we've done that with the hull design, we've done that with the lighting, everything we can think of.
And what about stuff generated by the ship, the trash, the glass? I mean, there's a popular conception, I think, among the uneducated public that cruise ships are like environmental disasters.
Well, it's rather silly. There are a lot of old myths that simply don't ever seem to go away, no matter what the facts are. Cruise ships in general are actually very efficient environmentally, but we've taken that to a new level. And so what we've said is we don't want anything to leave this ship and to go into a land-based dump. And so everything that we use on board, we either reuse it, we recycle it, or we incinerate it. And let me just give you an example of the lengths that we go to. When we said we wanted to recycle and we have to store crushed glass or cans until we get to a port that can take the recycling, public health said, well, you can't do that because the bacteria will grow. And so what somebody came up with the idea is, let's freeze the garbage. And if you freeze it, the bacteria won't grow. So we have this huge freezers, and we take crushed glass, cans, store them there till we can get to a port where we can recycle them.
You're freezing your garbage.
I think we have the coolest garbage at sea. Sorry.
You had to get that in.
Had to get that in.
Wow, so wait a minute. So how does that compare to cruise ships before? I mean, don't they
I think all cruise ships have worked hard. Throughout the industry, we've all worked very hard to get the absolute best environmental footprint that we can.
Mm-hmm.
And we keep learning. As I said, we put everything we could into making the Oasis the most energy efficient ship in the world. And here we've gone 20% better because the technology keeps getting better. We keep learning. Our mantra is continuous improvement, and that's the same thing. And frankly, the whole industry keeps getting better and better. And look, the next ships we build will be even better, I'm sure.
Wow. You just put down your own master ship here. But I guess what I'm driving at is, if you didn't keep everything on board till the next port, what would you do with it?
Well, we could take it, offload it to the ship and take it to a dump.
I see.
So, and that's perfectly fine. That's what everybody on shore does.
Right.
But we wanted to take this to a whole new level.
Keep it out of the landfill.
Keep it out of the landfill.
So what I don't understand is why some of these initiatives are obviously very expensive. I mean, you're refrigerating your trash, right? And you mentioned earlier you're scrubbing the sulfur out of your smokestacks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not something that's mandated by law, and not something that the casual guest would ever notice. Why would you go to that expense to make these greener than necessary, especially if it's not something you can use for marketing or whatever?
Well, I think I would contest the characterization as greener than necessary because we make our living from the ocean.
You got a problem with my questions, buddy?
Can we cut all this?
Yeah.
We make our living from the ocean, and this is, if it's good for the ocean, it'll help us stay good, productive, and profitable into the future. So this is just good business sense. This is not altruistic. This is just good for our own long-term business and well-being.
Wow. Well, I'm glad you're doing it. So so there are the six items: smart check-in, concierge, connecting, smart experiences, service, and sustainability.
Wow.
I think I've got that all by heart just by looking at the screen over there. So I think we have a final wrap-up video that talks in part about this facility, which has a lot of cool technology unto itself.
The relationship to Royal Caribbean is very long. The cooperation on all levels are fantastic, and I think that is the basic for creating wonderful ships. This cooperation to create new ideas, to have sessions where we sit together and thinking, what can we do next? What are new ideas?
Meyer-Werft is exceptionally advanced. The way they build the ship is copying very much what is happening actually in car manufacturing. So they have a flow line process, and that makes them very unique. That makes them exceptionally efficient.
It is a very complex process, and Meyer-Werft is probably one of the best shipyards in the world. I mean, the way they have developed the effectiveness of how they produce a ship and the quality of the ship that they built.
Quantum has many new features which are absolutely unknown in the business. And it is very exciting, and I think I have and my team have the best job of the world to create again new ships.
We have a special flow line that we can, from cutting, bending, welding, manual welding or automatic welding per robots.
When you're walking through Meyer-Werft, and you see the flow line. You actually see these pieces come together as you walk down the flow line.
To build such a ship is really a story, and the story is how to build it.
It's the leadership, it's the passion, it's the focus, which is creating the culture. And they are very unique in that respect.
This is, again, a very emotional moment for everybody here on the shipyard. The ship is the biggest ship we ever have built on this yard, and we are very proud of it.
Quantum of the Seas, ladies and gentlemen, and the CEO, Richard Fain.
David, thank you very much. Just before we go to the Q&A, if I could, there's a few people I have to thank. And I really have to start by thanking you to have somebody of your stature here and to, with most of the questions that you asked.
You were happy with most of them?
I was happy with most of them. It was really very good of you to take the time and the effort to learn so much about us. So thank you for that.
Oh, it's been a thrill.
And I also have to thank Bernard Meyer, who is here, he and his family is 6th generation of his family. So it's great to have him, and he's hosted us here. And you'll notice they didn't stop working during the process. I would like, as well, while we're on the air, I would like to point out that he promised me just this morning that the ship would deliver on time. So I have to say thank you for that. I also would like to say thank you to Harry Coulavara, who heads our new building team and who's created all these wonderful ships for Royal Caribbean and really inspires all of us. Microsoft, who's also been represented here, and thank them for the partnership and helping us with the tablets and all the other stuff that we're doing. Frankly, most important, I get to thank the men and women who are here to help get the ship started and who will make the ship such a special place for all of our guests for years to come. Well, you can see we have a couple of hundred of them here, and that's just to make sure that when the ship does deliver on time, Bernard, that everything works perfectly, to come back to your earlier questions. So thank you all very much. And thank you to our guests who have come to join us today.
And are jet-lagged and stayed awake nonetheless. So when does the ship actually sail?
The ship leaves the yard near the end of October. It heads straight to Southampton. We have a couple of days in Southampton at the end of October to show it off. And then she heads across the Atlantic in early November, getting to New York with paying guests, and getting to New York about November 10th. And then we do a couple of days of inaugurals in New York, and then our maiden voyage out of New York, where I can't wait.
And then after 6 months, though, she's not going out of New York anymore.
As you say, after 6 months, the market in China has just exploded so much that we are actually taking Quantum of the Seas to China. But Anthem of the Seas, our next ship, will come and replace her with a gap of about 6 months.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So we are ready to take some questions. Any of you here live, there are 4 microphones available. And if you're online, feel free to send in questions. If you're on Twitter, use hashtag Quantum of the Seas, and we will screen them. And if your question is any good, we will ask it of Richard Fain. So, we have a question right here.
Hi, Richard. Stuart Shear on the CruiseGuy from Miami. My kids love Royal Caribbean, and they want more information on the internet. They like to use their tablets. They like to use their phones. They like to stay connected, and most cruise lines block all those Skypes and FaceTime applications.
Are you a plant?
How are they going to stay in touch with their friends?
That's his favorite question.
Well, actually, that's the one you seem to be most interested in because you're so unhappy with what it's been in the past. But this is just transformational. The technological capabilities of handling the large, massive amounts of data that are needed to do video chatting, video downloading, etc., are just overwhelm any conventional satellite system. It's only when we bring in this entirely new system that multiplies by hundreds of times the bandwidth that we're able to do that. And so, yes, under the new system, your kids will be able to Skype, they'll be able to download movies, but hopefully they'll spend their time in our programs on board.
Spend a lot of time rubbing it in They're on vacation, their friends aren't.
That's right.
That's the idea.
So FaceTime video calls?
FaceTime is perfectly
no
there.
problem.
No problem.
Netflix?
All of that you can do. It's remarkable the amount of capacity.
It's crazy. It's like saying, you know, ice cream is now healthy for your heart. I mean, it's just like, it doesn't go. It's just...
Well, you mean ice cream isn't healthy for your heart? I always...
Sorry to break it to you.
This changes my life. But you know, what is interesting is this technology not only gives everybody, including the younger generation, which want to use massive amounts, everybody the convenience. But the other thing is, this new level of connectivity is an enabler. It enables all the other 5 smart features of this vessel. So this all fits together, and what I'm so excited about, obviously I'm excited, but what I'm so excited about is that this all works together. This isn't that we came up with 5 or 10 or 20 or 50 new gee whiz things. This is a holistic environment where everything is designed just to make it easier to enjoy the cruise and not have to worry about the kinds of hassles that you unfortunately talked about and that we all know happen in real life.
Right.
At sea and on shore.
Let's see, another question over here.
Hi, it's Ann Kalosh from Sea Trade. And Richard, since there's so many travel agents here, some of your top sellers, could you tell us a little bit about what the IQ app does to help travel agents?
Well, the IQ app is to make the cruise easier. That and Cruise Planner allow people to organize their vacation. And of course, the role of the travel agent is to help the guests not only to choose their vacation, but to make sure they're making the right choices and that they plan their vacation well. But that's quite a big burden just mechanically. And so Cruise Planner allows people to organize their own vacation, allows them to adjust it as they wish. And so it eases the job of the travel agent, because that, and also the check-in, the fact that they can do their own check-in, we're not going to have to go through 3 people to spell your name or to put in your passport number. So it eliminates a lot of simply the mechanical work, and that should make it easier for the travel agent. But the other thing it should do for the travel agent is it should make the guests come back happier. If the guests come back happier, they will thank the travel agent that sent them there in the first place, means they will buy another cruise, means I'm happy, means the travel agent is happy. And frankly, making me happy is a big part of what this is all about.
If you do say so. Do we have any online questions? Oh, we do have an online question. Country, United States. From Jean Ann, do clients need to tip the robot bartenders?
Yes, and the tips all come to me.
That's
good.
Everyone's a prankster. Yes, sir. Oh, sorry. Yeah, there we go. You have the mic? Yep.
Hi, Richard. Tom Stieghorst from Travel Weekly. Hi. I too am interested in the bionic bar, and I'd like to know a little bit more about what it's going to look like. Will the robot look like the one from Star Wars, or just how visually it's going to appear? And also, what you're going to do to control access for minors at the bionic bar, since there won't be a human bartender to check IDs.
Well, there will be. Proper handling of alcohol is an important part of everything we do, and so it's clearly included in what we're doing here. And not everybody wants to talk to a robotic bartender. So we will have humans there to help you with the process, including checking of IDs. Although remember also that we also build that into our systems, because when you simply tap, because you'll have a WOW band or an RFID card, and you tap it, and that also tells everybody your age. And by the way, maybe if you want, we can add a sign up, so tell everybody your age. But the other thing is, in terms of what does it look like, it actually looks like a robot, the same kind of robot you see building cars, for example. In fact, here's a picture coming up here.
Oh, there you go. That is what they look like.
It's not a humanoid robot. It is a single arm, and it will go and it will get the ice, and it will get the the mints, and it will get the lemons, and it will squeeze them and shake them. And so it makes no pretense of looking human, but and it will have a human to assist it.
And how, so there will be a human being there also.
There's always a human
for the
there.
technophobic alcoholic. So suppose I want to customize my drink. Can I say no ice? Can I say extra booze?
Yes, it's not like you have only a few items on the menu. You can be quite customized. In fact, that's part of the whole concept of the cruise, is that you can customize so much of the cruise, not only in the drink, but when you do things, what restaurants you go to, what activities you go to. But my guess is that when we start out, we'll be a little bit more circumspect, because we do need to learn.
Right.
So as we learn and as guests tell us their preference, we'll keep expanding the repertoire of this great bartender.
But these things exist. I mean, you've seen them working. That was a computer rendition, but do they actually work right now?
I have not seen them actually work. I have not had the drink. Hopefully we'll. Would you like to test one of the first drinks?
No, thanks.
So you
have 2 months to make all this come together.
Yeah, 2 whole months. This is terrific.
You're an optimist, man.
We have a team of really passionate people working on this, and I've seen what they've done in the past. I've seen what they've done so far, so I'm quite confident. You know, one of the things we did here is this is not cutting-edge technology. We are not a high-tech company. What this is really taking existing technology that is reasonably tried and true and applying it in a very logical way. But we're not trying to invent the semiconductor. We are trying to take advantage of the tremendous strides that are out there, and this is one example of that.
Gotcha. Last question. Victor from the live question. There you are.
Hi there, Colleen McDaniel from Cruise Critic. I'm wondering more about that IQ app. If one, you foresee it potentially replacing the planner, the daily planner that people get, the paper version. You talk about being environmentally sound, and that's certainly one thing that people talk about is all the paper. And two, is that that daily planner, is that going to be integrated into the whole schedule so people can see exactly what they want to go to? And three, is there a cost associated with it?
That is a super great question.
I didn't hear the third part.
Is there a cost?
Is there a cost? I'll handle that first, no. The second one is, we did give thought to making this a paperless environment. But there are people who really want the paper, and the Cruise Compass is something that sometimes people want. But overall, we're eliminating most of the paper. We decided not to say, no, you can't have a piece of paper if you want it, but most people will find this absolutely replaces all the other kinds of paper they need. You can handle your waivers electronically, you can handle your scheduling electronically, so everything is there in one simple app, and as I say, it's free.
So what's it called, Cruise Compass?
Yes.
So that's the daily newsletter of events. So is that in the app?
That is in the app.
Okay.
It tells you everything that's available, and it separately will tell you what you've chosen. So one of the things that Cruise Compass doesn't do today is you can see everything that's available, but it doesn't tell you what you've chosen and when you've chosen it, and do you have a conflict. And Royal IQ tells you what you've chosen, what your schedule is, what your children's schedule is, and you can see it all at a glance, as well as all the other things that you chose not to do.
So here's a suggestion for version 1.1 of this app. Let me check off, I wish not to get paper things stuffed under my door, right? Let me say I'm totally electronic, save your paper.
Well, we don't have to go to 1.1. Essentially, unless you want it, there should be almost no paper that comes your way.
Oh, really? Okay,
yes,
good.
Yeah.
So it defaults the right way.
It really does, and it really, we want to eliminate hassles, we want to eliminate worries, we want to make the mechanics of taking a cruise something you don't have to think about, so you can just say, I have to decide, do I want to go on North Star? Do I want to go on Ripcord? Do I want to go on the Flow Rider? Do I want to go in 270? I could go on, but I think our time is up.
Our time is up. I have to say, it looks really wicked cool. I wish you the best of luck on 1.0 and 2.0 and thereafter. Thanks for joining us online, in person. And thank you, Richard Fain.
Thank you all. Thank you, David. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you doing this. And in fact, we have a celebration here.
Wow. Dusseldorf Middle School Bagpipe Band, ladies and gentlemen.
Introducing Quantum of the Seas, the most technologically advanced ship ever to sail. Quantum amps up the guest experience for both the tech-savvy and non-tech-savvy alike, golfers and gamers, grandmas and geeks. This isn't just a ship, it's a smart ship. How smart? 6 ways to Sunday smart. 6 ways that will blow you away and blow alternative forms of vacation travel out of the water. You'll get your first taste of smart before you even leave the house, because a quantum vacation begins at home. Here you can take care of all necessary documentation and receive digital boarding credentials. If you've checked in online, you can board Quantum's next generation terminal by simply a tap of your barcode and a swipe of your passport to our roaming agents, which will get you from sidewalk to ship in just 10 minutes. If that doesn't wow you, maybe this will. We've invented a whole new way to track your luggage with RFID technology. Just download your Royal IQ app and you can keep track of your luggage on your smartphone as it moves from sidewalk to ship to stateroom. So you can hang out in the bar having a drink instead of checking your stateroom to see if your luggage has arrived. The Quantum experience also begins at home with our newly reimagined Cruise Planner. Cruise Planner lets you pre-plan your vacation using your tablet or computer from the comfort of your living room, letting you book shore excursions, schedule spa appointments, and make dining reservations, so you can get the first day of your vacation back. On board, you'll have the flexibility to change plans and customize your voyage through self-service platforms we call Royal IQ. Royal IQ is also available as a downloadable app for your smartphone or tablet, giving you total flexibility in shaping your vacation to your needs. Smart. What's more, Quantum of the Seas offers RFID WOW bands, wearable technology you don't have to camp out in the street to get your hands on. WOW bands do things that put new power in your hands. Well, not exactly in your hands, but close. Tap, make a purchase, tap again, get into your room. You'll wish your house worked like this. Together, these features reduce lines and waiting times because on Quantum, there's no time to waste. Now, that's really smart. The days of getting away from it all on a vacation are long gone. Guests expect to be connected to their social networks, their media, their jobs, to each other. And that's what you get with Quantum of the Seas' Smart Connect capabilities. Quantum of the Seas operates with unprecedented bandwidth using satellites launched with tech partner O3b networks. These satellites do not send out a broad signal, but beam directly to the ship. Revolutionary, as is the bandwidth provided. How much bandwidth? More bandwidth than every other cruise ship in the world combined. Wow! Letting you upload photographs to Facebook and videos to YouTube, tweet, Skype, stream movies, connect with friends and family on board anywhere. Even play Xbox Live with gamers worldwide. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a quantum leap. Super smart. Quantum changes everything. And when we say everything, we mean everything. Ever see a bionic bar with a robotic bartender before? He makes a killer mojito. Just don't call him Robo-Guy. Or the outside of the ship from an inside stateroom thanks to virtual balconies. Or an immersive entertainment venue like 270 featuring robotic dancing screens. Everything's extraordinary on board Quantum. The best thing on this ship is the crew. They are the ones who make Quantum truly extraordinary. So we use technology to make their lives better, as we do for our guests. We're giving each member of our crew a personal tablet that's theirs to keep. That's 40,000 tablets in all, so they can stay close to family and friends back home throughout the voyage. Happy crew, happy guests. Smart. Technology plays a major role in making Quantum more environmentally friendly too. Sophisticated computer modeling was used to reduce fuel consumption with more efficient hull and engine design. There will be no incandescent light bulbs. Cleaner emissions. Really smart. Quantum's technology allows us to keep it simple, friendly, easy, and virtually invisible, creating a one-of-a-kind vacation that is above and beyond. The world's first smart ship, Quantum of the Seas. This changes everything.